Mabuhay! Happy Buwan ng Wika again to everyone! This is part 2 of the Pinoy superhero series, where I show the process of how I made these posters for my class. Today I will be showing how I made Mascara, my Mascara festival supervillain. If you weren't here before, I had to make these Pinoy superhero posters for my class. She and my other characters along are the ones I chose to use since they're very close to my heart and I love their dynamic and designs. They are based off Filipino festivals since they're from a poster for Manila's Fest 2019, and I just wanted to give them a revamp. And without further ado, let's begin. I once again did not record the initial sketching phase because I'm always embarrassed by how long and messy it takes me to come up with something coherent. I promise if I do more of these in the future I'll remember to record them so that you can see how I come up with them. In the meantime, I will talk about her story. Her real name is Carmela Mendoza. Ever since she was a child, she had participated in many beauty pageants due to her parents' desperate need for fortune. She didn't understand why her parents kept pushing her to compete at that time, but she knew it made them happy when they'd see her perform her absolute best, so she kept doing it to make them proud. Over the years, she had won many pageants due to her looks and her talent in singing, much to the jealousy of her other competitors. Rumors would spread about her bribing the judges and faking her poverty for pity. It hurt her a lot to the point where she'd almost want to quit, but she never did for the sake of her parents. Until one day, on the day of her biggest competition to date, the Mascara Festival Queen, she was sabotaged by one of her competitors who laced her makeup and costume with an acid that burned through her skin and scarred her permanently. In her shame, she fled the venue with her mask covering her face and was never to be seen again. She lived in seclusion, devastated and traumatized by what happened to both her body and her reputation. She wasn't able to afford any good plastic surgery to repair the extreme damage on her body and had to resort to cheaper, experimental alternatives. In her frustration, she became enraged with the realization that she's been controlled and pushed around her whole life only for her to be left to die, and decided to take revenge. However, her experimental remedies reacted horribly, and while only healing very little, soon gave her the ability to control the minds of those around her. With these powers, she donned her mask once again under the name Mascara, seeking vengeance and control over those who have wronged her. Phew, what a lot to take in. I'll talk more about the drawing now. I'm currently putting her in grayscale since I know that she will be super colorful in the end. I needed to do this first so that I know if the values and intensities of the drawing are balanced and well distributed. I initially tried to give her a purple and gold color for a while, but I don't end up with that later. I also tried to give her stockings but then I remembered that I actually drew the toes this time, so no. I also give her nice sharp nails, because I know that looks very girl boss for her. I colored her skin a lighter brown color, since I wanted to contrast it from the bright colors of her outfit. I wish I could have put her scars in more, but maybe next time when I draw her I might. I go shade in her skin and for some reason I'm still trying to work with the stockings idea. I honestly have no idea what I'm doing here, just trying to make the colors work. It was very difficult to make that translucent texture on the skin without making it look like I'm whitewashing her. Basically, this whole coloring process was a huge mess. I shade around the mask to give it more depth. I kept pressuring myself to make the mask look readable while also bold and striking because that was what the point of the mask is. It's a focal point of her whole character. I try to move from that for a moment to do some other shading around, just to feel less insane. I also try to do a shiny sequins texture for her dress which I found fun. I made a top purple and the bottom blue, and I put some gold sequins on the rest of her outfit. At this point I didn't know how I felt about the whole color scheme but wanted to at least finish it first before trying to fix it as a whole. I then go to Krita to attempt to fix the colors using the tone curves. I even try to use the color balance feature to try to make it look nicer. I adjust a lot of things, and soon her dress becomes blue and I'm having trouble with her skin. I also try to recolor her mask because I also hated it. I keep trying to adjust the colors over and over, and at this point my head is hurting from just trying too hard to make the colors work. I eventually give up and decided to start over again. It's okay to take a step back sometimes in art. I adjusted the proportions of her sleeves that I didn't notice before because I was too focused on the coloring. I do a few more adjustments before I try again to color in her skin first and shading around it to give depth. I went with the dark blue dress because I realized it looked nicer than purple. I also make her gloves and other accents black because it gave a more sinister vibe. I still keep the gold like in her earrings and in the belt because it still worked with the blue. I also keep the white designs of her sleeves and her belt as well, trying to make them as accurate as I can. I start coloring in her mask and her shoes, soon ditching the stockings and making sure the values are balanced. I also put in rounded things around her mask to contrast with others. After that, I start shading in her skin more to give it more detail and depth, and add in her hair before I move on to the dress design. I drew inspiration from neons to make the dress look shiny and mystical. I put the blue in the main outfit and the purple inside of her skirt instead because it looks nicer. I also added a pendant of a mask as an accessory that I'll work more on later. I then draw the colorful designs on her mask, using the same colors as her outfit to make sure it's harmonious. I put gold feathers on her little pendant and then start coloring in the feathers of her actual mask, once again taking colors from the outfit to tie it all in. I initially went with white and pink, but then I realized that it didn't look good. And changed it to pink and purple. Once that's done, I then begin with the background. I aligned her with sulum to make sure they were the same height, and gave her a lighter drop shadow since the floor was black. I tried to give her a glowing aura to make her look mystical, but decided to do that later. I then write her name in jagged sharp lettering, and give it a vibrant glow as well. I also give her slightly blue and pink glowing things on her arms, and giving her that subtle bisexual lighting because it looks cool. I do a few more adjustments before I start drawing Sulong behind her. I once again didn't know how to fit her into there, so you'll see me sketching her a bunch before finding a good reference. I wish I also made her do a similar pose to Mascara in the other poster so that it could look the same. I didn't know what kind of expression to give her, but in the end, I went with a soft expression that felt kind and noble for her. I then lined the rest of her body before I colored her in. I colored her in black and white once again to not take away focus from Mascara. I put her in overlay to blend her into the background more, and then I put a shining sun background to fill in the space. I used the same masks that I made in Sulung's poster just to save me more time, and gave them pink and blue overlays to match with Mascara. I do a few more adjustments, and lower the opacity of the masks into the background, and soon it is done. I am so happy with the end result and I'm glad that I was able to pull it off. I really hope that you all enjoy the series. I might do more in the future if ever I feel like it. But until then, I once again thank you for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye bye.